Hey, this is the Professor on WLOY, and I am here with Martin and Flavia from the fabulous Courettes, who just finished their UK tour and are getting a few minutes off, and thankfully took some time to chat with me as well, which I'm really grateful for. So, how are you guys?
Hi, John, the Professor. I just heard. Professor of Rock and Roll. I hope.
You gotta have a DJ name, right?
Nice. Well, looking for your records behind you. It should be great. Great stuff.
Well, so you guys, you've been playing together in Europe for about 10 years?
8 years, actually. It's going to be 9 years next year.
Yeah. And you've put out 3 LPs and like 4 singles, I think?
No, actually, 4 LPs, a compilation, a live record, and around, I have no idea how many singles, but definitely not 4.
I think the last time we counted was like 20 something of
singles. Yeah.
No, singles and LPs.
Yeah. Okay, together. Yeah, that makes sense. Around more than 10 singles.
We lost count also.
Yeah, well, we have here like a collection somewhere, but around.
In a minute, I want to talk about your graphic design because it's amazing. But so you have the new album that's coming out specifically for the U.S. is the fabulous Courettes Boom Dynamite, which is I don't want to call it a greatest hits, but it's a compilation of stuff from the albums you've released in Europe on Damaged Goods, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of a presentation album for people who never heard about us, you know. Mm-hmm. So as we are just starting in USA, I just mentioned it's going to be a third tour there after South by Southwest in the West Coast. Now we're going to the East Coast. So we would like to present people with an overview of our career because we've been through some kind of a musical journey. I think a musical evolution from very garage roots, you know, very raw and very almost live on the studio from the first album till Becky Mona, our third album, which for us was like a big step in songwriting and production and emulating the wall of sound of Spector. And so we would like to show people our musical journey rather than just, you know, present one of the albums we have already released. So it's a kind of introduction record for the US market.
Yeah, it's a fantastic compilation. It makes me want to go get all the rest of the records now. So.
Exactly.
I've been spinning, actually, I think 4 or 5 of the tracks we've been playing. It was very exciting, and I love. I mean, you have an entire, besides just the fantastic sound, you've got an entire aesthetic working around that. Your music videos are great, and the graphic design that you're using for all the albums, including the sort of fake distressing of the covers and. It's a really wonderful vibe to all of it. Are you guys doing your own graphic design, or do you have somebody that's just working with you on that? It's yours.
No, it's me. I'm doing. So this is like the dream band for me because I can play the music I really want and also do the graphic design for the band I really. So this style is just
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it.
Well, thanks. I know it took many years to. It's funny because it took many years to learn how to make it look old. It took years of practice to make it look like authentic.
And what is great is Martin does all the graphics, like T-shirts, record sleeves, everything. We have flyers, posters. So in that way, we have a very closed aesthetics. You know, we have control about not only the music aesthetics, but also how we look and the videos and everything. So it's as you say, it's a dream band also for us because then we can just control everything about it.
Well, that's great because I think that's critical because you don't have a record label or a manager telling you, oh, we need to do this to get the kids to listen. We need to do this. Oh, do you think you could do a cover of,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have Damaged Goods Records, which is a great record label, but they love the stuff we do. And, we never experienced they say, oh, should we do this to please somebody? And if there's somebody who doesn't like, they just say, oh, forget about them. They have a very cool do-it-yourself punk attitude, which we're super fans. It's a pleasure working with them. So we have totally freedom, creative freedom.
Which is great. Yeah. I mean, and it really shows you can hear an evolution in the music. And as you were saying, from that garage sound, which is fantastic, but it runs. At one point I was trying to explain it to someone. I was like, imagine if Dick Dale was playing with the Shangri-Las.
That's a really good one. Yeah. Yeah, we all heard about like the Ramones jamming with the Ronettes. But I think they were Shangri-Las. Wow, that's even better.
Well, I think you've got that edge that the Shangri-Las had. That was always the thing that made them more appealing. It wasn't just all sort of sugary songs. There was the edge that they always had.
Yeah. Exactly.
They were the tough girls, like
absolutely, and the clothes and the trousers. They were just street girls, They were just cool.
And then you've evolved into the Phil Spector wall of sound. I understand you guys, unfortunately, right before COVID, you built your own studio that allowed you to really achieve what you wanted in that sound.
Yeah, so we had the whole idea of trying to do this back in Phil Spector, back to mono, Spector production and the sound, and so we thought, we could see like in 2019 we spent everything we owned, because we could see 2020 was going to be amazing.
It was a good year, 2019.
It was supposed to be really a good shows, great fee. We could financially we could recoup the whole investments. We could still make a living of it, and it looked great.
Let's do the studio.
So we did the studio there, but then COVID came, but then we had like a killer studio. So
so we used the time.
We were poor, but we had a killer studio, and And
I think we made the best album we ever.
Yeah, and then we started doing it, with we had we bought a lot of vintage gear, and our producer Soren, it was a great part of a recording, but we didn't have one to mix it yet, but we thought we tried different mixing guys, but no one could do this wall of sound, it's
no.
But then we managed to track one person down, which I believe is the only one in the world who can actually do it. It's his name is Seiki Sato in
Japan.
Tokyo in Japan. So one really hardcore nerd who knows how to do this sound, it's and we found him. I don't know how, it's a pure luck, but we found the one person in the world who could do it.
Yeah, it was all the story with the single who went to a list, and then we found this girl who had this fantastic sound. I said, we want this sound. Who is that? And then we used everybody we knew in Japan to track him down. But it's funny because also I think with the Phil Spector, we were always, with this, we had this dilemma. We're only two. Can we put overdubs in the records or not? How are we going to live? How are we going to play live with two overdubs? And then suddenly, with the second album, we started putting some piano. I put some harmonies and, some stuff. And then we thought, if the songs are good, they survive also with only two. Or actually, if you just play it on the guitar or on the piano, it just sounds good. A good song is a good song. So it was very freeing to say, you know what? Now we're going to do all the overdubs we have in our heads. We're going to put thousands of vocals, thousands of piano and everything. And, everything's played by ourselves. Soren, the producer, played organ and a mellotron. Otherwise, we played everything ourselves. So that was very freeing. Okay, you can do a duo and know that studio is something and live is something else, And we like both. We like doing both.
It's got to be, just listening to you, that it's got to be so freeing to have so much control over what you want to do and to be able to realize that. You have your own studio, so you have control. You're doing your own graphic design, so you have control. You're really it's the dream, right? I mean, you have
Absolutely.
all of the pieces are under your control, which is such a rare thing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We also have experience of, sorry.
No, I was just, and it could be worse getting locked down in 2020 with your own studio, right? At least.
Exactly. And with a lot of time, there was no tours at all. You were not doing anything. No. So we were writing songs and recording. But we also had this experience in the first album. Okay, it's not our studio, so you have, time is ticking. You have to, get things done. It's totally a different approach, that you don't have actually to rush for album and, and leave the studio and, okay, let's press this button and see what happens. Wow. Oh, that's cool. So it was a great experience. We learned a lot.
So to get that wall of sound, Martin, are you like running a chorus on your drums? How do you get the recreation of 3 drum kits or 4 drum kits that he used to use?
Yeah, but the fun thing about Spector is he only used one drummer, Hal Blaine, his name was, and did a lot of pianos, a lot of guitars, electric, acoustic, basses, but only one drummer. But we built echo chambers.
A real echo chamber.
Real underground echo chamber with a wall of speakers and a microphone in the other corner. So to get this, the real reverb, which is Spector is also used to.
So everything is passed through the echo chamber and then put back in the track. So that's why the drum sounds so huge.
It sounds fantastic. I was wondering how you were doing that.
Yeah, and of course there's some overdubs Martin made with polkas and a lot of percussion, castanets and maracas and tambourines and all the playing around thing. But the echo chamber, I think it gets this big like cathedral sounding, which is super cool.
Are you running to tape directly, or are you running digital and then to tape, or you've got to have tapes?
No, this is actually just a digital. Just not. Through a lot of outboards, we have a lot of vintage mixing desks from the 60s, old Telefunk and stuff, a lot of really weird outboards effects. But it goes
like that you
but it goes to, in the end, it goes to the computer.
Yeah, we have also
a tape machine, an old Telefunk M15A. It's a legendary one the Beatles also used. But this is we don't use it much, but we have it for...
We have one of
special
the singles,
occasions.
One of the singles we recorded totally in tape. It was the one we did at Touareg Studios, and it is great too. But for doing Spector with a lot of wall of sound, a lot of overdubs, I think it would be a lot of work to do it. So it's just
if you're using the right vintage equipment, you're going to get that analog sound at least through that. So
exactly.
You're not using digital plugins. You're using real gear.
No, the thing is, it's a big discussion here, but it's nowadays, the difference of digital, if you're good at using it, and the analog warmth, the difference is not so big anymore. It's the computers are so good, logic, all the waves, the programs are so well done, and if you're also a good technician working with it,
And if you use the right gear, I think John totally is spot on. It's about the gear, and it's about the real reverb, and that it's totally organic.
Yeah, that's true.
So just where you're gonna record it doesn't mean so much, and it just makes easier.
Well, there's many factors who create the sound also. Yeah, it's true.
And so Flavia, I know you're. When I first saw the guitar, I didn't recognize it, but it's a Billy Childish Cadillac guitar that you're playing mainly.
Yeah, it's a fab guitar. Yeah,
it's a wild looking piece,
and it's great to play, and it has very powerful sound. Because we're only 2, so we try different. I have a lot of guitars. I have vintage guitars, and I have all kinds of it. And we need this big sounding. I have many fuzz boxes too. We usually record with the Maestro, the original from Satisfaction, from the 60s. But live, it's just not strong enough. So when we play live, we have to have the more sound possible. And that guitar is just so tough, it really gets a very, a huge sounding. So we always try. I mean, we do what we can to make as much noise as possible, and we get a lot of comments after the show. Wow, I was walking around, entered the venue, I thought it was a 4-piece band, and then it was like, okay, where's the third member? Where his or she's hidden? Or so and there's no hidden members, I can assure.
The guy under the stage playing all.
No, there's no guy on the stage. Well, you can look when you're in the show.
So you're going to be coming to the U.S. Are you going to be bringing your vintage gear? Or are you going to be renting stuff here, or just touring with sort of?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing when you fly. That's a pity. I mean, at least right now we cannot fly with everything we want to. And in the UK, we have some great gear already there. So I think that's the plan for USA. At some point, we're going to have a gear there exclusively for USA. But this time it's going to be a rental. So I hope in Baltimore it's going to be like the greatest gear ever. But if it's the greatest gear ever, it's not as great as the one we have at home anyways.
No.
So we're going to miss it.
So we actually have some pretty fantastic vintage gear shops nearby. So speaking of that, you guys are going to be coming to the U.S. Starting on the 26th of September. So you've got about a week of down and relax time, and then get ready to go again. And you're going to be here in Baltimore at the Metro Gallery on October 4th with DJ Rob Macy, who does Save Your Soul Party locally, which is all like 45 soul records. It's a great thing he's been doing for years. So I think he's going to open. Get everybody psyched. And then the Flying Faders are going to play, and they're a great surf band that they just played for us at a show this past year. They're great guys. They're all also in like 17 different bands, so they've got a pretty good repertoire.
And hard workers, we like that.
Yeah,
wow,
and they're a lot of fun. So it should be a great show, and it's a fun venue. It's not real large, so every kind of place you're standing gets good sound, and it's fun.
Nice. Yeah. So I hope everybody listening are gonna come there.
Yeah.
I don't think if I live in Baltimore, I will never miss it.
You're going to be at the runway in DC right before that too. So there's two chances to see you right in the area, which is great.
And then at the Union Pool the day after in Brooklyn.
Yep.
We're also really looking forward for see New York for the first time. So. We have been having like offers from New York for the last 2 years. Oh, come play New York, this and this, So we're just
there's a lot of expense in just coming over for a couple of shows.
Yeah, exactly. So now finally we managed to put it in a tour that makes sense. So we're really looking forward. So if anyone has friends in New York, Brooklyn the day after also, I think it's going to be cool.
So do you find, when you're getting matched up with opening acts, are you finding good connections to find other gear, other venues, other bands?
Exactly.
It's such a great way to find out where you could and should be going next.
Yeah,
absolutely. And, we started like that in every country. And now we've played, 25 countries, something like that. It's crazy. We've really been around, been to whole Europe, a little bit in South America. We've been in Japan, which was amazing, and UK, the whole UK with Scotland and Ireland too. So it's just and that's the way it starts everywhere. Like getting to know the bands, and then a very cool vintage equipment shop and a record shop, or so we're just so happy now it's USA, and very curious and open to get to know cool people, cool bands, cool record shops, cool gear shops, and everything related to rock and roll.
Like speaking of record shops, the way I kind of related to your album is, when you go into a record store and you're just randomly looking through things and you're like, oh, this looks interesting, I'll try it, and you get home and you go, oh my god. That's the way the new album really came across. It was like, how did I not know this existed already?
Wow, thank you. That's thanks to you, Martin, who did the artwork. And we got actually some messages of people. Okay, I just bought your stuff randomly in the record shop in London because I saw the artwork and say, okay, well, this must sound good. And they say, you sound exactly how you look.
Right.
And I think it's a great compliment. Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of that full control, is that that's not a surprise. You're not picking up an album with random artwork from some label designer. You're picking up artwork that is entirely reflective of your sound. And anybody who's into that sound sees that artwork and immediately goes, I want to listen to this. I have no idea who this is, but I want to listen to this.
Yeah, man.
Well, and if you come visit our house, everything looks like that too. I mean, we love space age design, and so it's like
showing here.
I mean, the living room and our room is like totally like a travel. We live in that future that never happened. You know, unfortunately,
us flying cars.
No flying cars. Disappointing. So it's pity that future, the retro future, that never happened. Would be much more interesting than the design nowadays. I mean.
They promised us flying cars and gave us 8-track tapes instead.
Exactly. No, yeah, that's very disappointing.
Tapes, yeah, that's cool. We have those too, actually. Those players.
Yeah.
It was never a big. Those 8-track cassettes was never a big thing in Europe.
No.
So, but yeah, we have a lot.
Well, I guess not in USA too.
Yeah.
But when you buy a vintage car to run around in Europe, you'll have to get an 8-track deck.
Yeah.
Okay, for listening in the car. Okay, no.
That's the way to do it. Got to get an old American convertible with an 8-track deck.
Oh no! Don't tell Martin that he has plans with cars, American cars. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found one I would really like. So yeah.
Oh no! So let's just spend all the money in studio and now
No, we have to.
Vintage gear and cars and space age design. Yeah, that's. I remember supporting the band,
buy merch, buy records.
Well, another thing we're actually
there's a video in that. I think if you can find someone who's got the right vintage car that has one of those decks, there's a music video for you in that for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
No, we should do that. Well, somebody told us we're gonna play also at the Gunner Fest. I don't know if you heard about in Memphis.
Oh, cool.
Gunner Records, yeah. So we're also really looking forward for that. And there was a guy we know who said he's going to pick us up with a big...
Bob Wayne.
Yeah, Bob Wayne said he's going to pick us up with a big... Is it a limo?
Just a limo. That's right.
I thought it was a something. Just a limo.
No, he's great. We met him there, and he's a really sweet dude. And and then he just suddenly, I'm going to pick you up in the limo. I'm going to drive you around in Memphis in a
and
big
then
limo.
We thought, okay, you are. And then we heard from a friend in common say, wow, he's really actually fixing the limo.
I have a curious question about, I know you met in Brazil. Well, Flavia, you were in one band, and Martin, you were touring from Denmark with your band. And I'm curious about a couple things. First, what kind of music were both of you playing in those bands, and how close was it to what you really wanted to do?
You played some kind of rock music, wasn't it?
It was a rock and roll trio with a lot of surf influences. It was a very original mix, I think, but it was garage too, but a lot of Jovem Guarda influence, which is the 60s. I don't know if you heard about it. It's the 60s movement in Brazil. There was a huge influence of that. And surf music and a little bit of like 52s, a little bit post-punk vibes too, with 2 vocals, female, male. So that was Autorama's vibe, my former band. Mm-hmm. And Martin's Colombian Neckties. I
used to play Colombian Neckties. It was like a super high-speed garage
punk, 7/7
punk stuff. It was
great band actually.
It's a good band, yeah.
Martin I was amazed by the way he played. He was so fast, and actually Colombian songs were faster than ours. Much. But we hear a lot also when photographers take pictures of Martin that the drumsticks are like this, they're like everywhere. And I remember first seeing Martin playing there. He was so fast, it was like, wow, that's a great drummer. Yeah. I want it. That's gonna be mine. Yeah.
So then you ended up, I guess, meeting and discovering that you had this incredible overlap of tastes, and eventually ended up back in Denmark together.
Yeah, that was very crazy. We met. I didn't want to do that tour. I was thinking it's going to be a nightmare. We were to be in the van with 12 men and me for 2 weeks. I really didn't want to do this tour. And then you came like 5 a.m. We had to be everybody in the van, and then we went to pick your band up. And the first one entering was Martin. And I had all my bags, my side. I didn't want anyone there. And I said, "Oh, can I sit here?" Oh. So it was funny because it came just like out of nowhere. And then we started talking about music. And as you said, we found out, wow, I like this. Well, I like that too. And also not only music, but art design and, Scandinavian design. So plastic fantastic and all that. So it's just, we were very amazed. Wow, we live 10,000 kilometers. I have no idea how many miles is it? A lot away from each other. Yeah, and that was so crazy, everything. And we never sit down and say, let's make a band. Now you move to Denmark. Now everything really happened really organically and naturally. It took me 2 years to move to Denmark. So we've been together 2 years before I actually moved to Denmark. So yeah, and that's where the songs came from, because we were traveling and I was just writing the songs in the planes. And so suddenly we had 5-6 songs, and I said, "Oh, let's play them." Yeah, I'm actually originally a bass player. I just play guitar because I just made the songs on the guitar, and we went to the studio with a guitar and the drums. And a lot of people say that, yeah, White Stripe. It's really not an influence, and it's funny to say that, and people don't believe it. But we never actually decide, okay, let's make a duo, and one is a girl, one is a boy. It just really happened, and we didn't find the need of having a third member, so far.
I mean, you probably get the comparisons to the White Stripes and the Black Keys and any other duo that's out there.
Especially White Stripes. Black Keys, no, it's White Stripes all the time because
of this female male, and we like Sonny and Cher too, so it's just funny. So
Argentina, no one
we love Argentina, and so it's Nancy and Lee. So it's funny we have so many other references, but I stopped being annoyed about it because the critics, they use their own bias, their own reference, and that's what they actually know, So they compare to what things they actually know, but the music says nothing. It's nothing going at all,
Yeah, everyone has their own reference points, but
exactly, yeah. That's the thing, It gets easier when you think with this perspective,
Mm-hmm.
So just really briefly, also, you guys have done some pretty cool collaborations. You did something with Sam Moore, with Joey D and the Starlighters, and now you've also got a track, a cover of Bikini Girls with Machine Guns on a Cramps tribute. Is there one that you're looking forward to trying to make happen? Is there that sort of one person out there that you'd like, oh, if we could just get them?
Yeah, it's funny because we were asked.
Try, isn't it?
We were asked. Not it never happened, unfortunately. But we were asked to do. Was it Shangri-La's?
It was a Shangri-La.
It was a Shangri-La song, and we said yes.
No,
but then then we were, holy shit! How are we gonna do this better
than a Shangri-La?
Because we have also differently or better. We have to do. We cannot. We cannot do a weaker version.
Everybody can do a weaker version, isn't it? It's so tricky.
So actually, that's the first time I actually said to Flavia, wow, okay, this we can actually not, I don't know how to do this cooler. Yeah. I don't know how to do it better. So luckily it was something with the rights. They were not allowed to do it anyways. Yeah. It was something. It didn't happen. Yeah. So
and just to make this clear, we never wanted to do covers. We have our own songs. We love songwriting. It's one of the parts of the stuff where this stuff to have, as I said, to have full control. We don't see that we can have full control if you're playing songs written by somebody else. And I don't have the same emotion. We love playing songs we love at home in the piano. This I love to do. I play some Beatles songs, and that's how I learned to play guitar, and that's how I learned to play bass. But as a career, to play other people's music never appealed to us at all. But it was a project by Cleopatra Records. They approached us from Los Angeles, and it's super interesting because you have to keep the original vocals. Yeah. And this responsibility of, okay, wow, I'm hearing Sam and Dave blasting from the speakers in our studio. It was like I got absolutely chills to say, okay, how can we do a backup? So we're like the backing musician for Sam and Dave for one day. It's something like that. So it's super fun to make, and we can do anything. And we did this, I don't know if you heard the version of Hold On I'm Coming, but I think it's like the best garage band ever, because it's it has a punch, but it has like great vocals on top, so.
What I think, like Martin is saying, I mean, you don't want to do a karaoke version of the song. You want to do something that honors it and is interesting and different.
Absolutely.
Otherwise you wouldn't want to. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't want to do it in public. It could be just
exactly. I mean,
you could do it.
It was super interesting because we have this unique. We are the only ones who do this wall of sound. So all of a sudden, all these beautiful, cool versions, we could put on this wall of sound and make it a more girl group version, Courettes girl group, a wall of sound version. So just this, putting this Spector sound on it, makes it super interesting. But we always,
But the comparison with the originals is always tough, because I mean, it's some of the greatest music ever made in human history. So I mean, it's a. But
I think I think we did many of the versions are better than the originals.
I think so too. The grassroots and others.
Exactly. I think so amazing.
We are proud of it, but I mean, as long as it doesn't, lose the focus of, that's the original music. That's where our focus is. But it's a super fun project to be, and we learn a lot. We get better musicians. Going on studio and thinking, okay, how to be the backup band for Johnny Thunder.
No, but that's also funny because also with the new album, we can see there's a difference both in our songwriting and the way we play also.
Yeah.
So all these Cleopatra projects really gave us freedom because all this garage is so square, and we also wanted to break loose. This project is a heaven-sent gift for us because we could push the boundaries a lot. We could give ourselves much more freedom in the playing and what to do in the studio.
When it's not our stuff, And also this with the garage scene, we think it's too, we love garage music, but everything that's like very close, for us it loses a little bit the interest. We are rock and roll lovers, we love girl groups, for example. Why not, blend everything and we love the Stooges, so how can we do like a blend of all the influence we have and do something new, then just, okay, this is not garage enough. I have to have the same guitar everybody has. I have to have the same haircut. then it gets like limiting, I think. And so we're kind of in and out of the scenes, we have our own scene actually, I think. And I think that's actually very, very positive.
It's a much healthier way to do it because you're open to all the experiences and all the styles and you can go with what feels right to you when you're doing it, right?
And evolve musically, take chances, and that's what we're up to. We want to make better albums, write better songs, and play better, And
you're working on an entirely new album right now.
Yeah.
Yes, we already recorded 7 tracks. We have written 15 songs.
Yeah.
Some still missing lyrics, some bits off. But now we're gonna have new recording sessions, and I think it's gonna be our best album so far. So,
and that's
it's hard to come after Back in Mono.
Yeah,
but we're gonna make it.
Yeah, no, it's good. We were worried after writing Back in Mono, saying how are we gonna top this? It's such a good album. So we were thinking, wow.
Yeah, now the standards are higher and higher.
Yeah,
we like to have challenges.
But also we didn't want everyone to compare it because we didn't want to do a Back in Mono #2 because it's
we did it Back in Mono B.
Yeah, but it's not real the #2, so it's that's more like a pair of Back in Mono.
Well, you have.
So we didn't want to do number 2 of those versions, so we're moving a little bit.
Yeah.
Still keeping a little grip in the wall of sound, going a little Motown, go a little.
Yeah.
Well, I think if it doesn't evolve for you, then it's going to stagnate and not be as interesting for you to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to just repeat the same thing. It's
yeah, we don't want to get bored, and we're curious and we need to have challenges. That's actually it's walking through that's what we like to do. Taking chances. So
So are you going to bring other bands in to experience your Wall of Sound studio, or are you going to just kind of keep that?
It's
happening already.
It's going to be more in the future. Right now, we don't have really time to do it, but it's a long-term plans also to open up this. We already have clients coming with other technicians.
It's a very good Danish band who play there.
Yeah, we do.
EP.
We do some
called
really
Fox
good.
Paloma, very good band actually. 60s Mob Psych. Yeah, but we're thinking when we're tired of touring, it's definitely not now. You know, we did 142 concerts last year. It's gonna be kind of the same this year, but when in the future we're a little older and we don't want to tour that much, so we want to focus more on the studio production and have other people to also go there and maybe a producer or maybe a record label, who knows, I can work with other bands. That's in the future somehow.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, but it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And we look forward
to see you there in real life.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Let us know if you can drop by the studio there and do a longer one.
So October 4th, Metro Gallery, the Courettes with Save Your Soul from Rob Macy and the Flying Faders. And have a tour.
Yeah.
The kickoff in Detroit. Have a blast.
Thank you, Joe. Well, see you in Baltimore.